Well, we've got some breaking news just in. This is out of Ohio, where the defendant in the 4 Days of Hell trial has just entered a guilty plea. Defendant William Mozingo entered the courtroom just moments ago. His murder trial was set to begin with jury selection today. The prosecutors accusing him of holding 23-year-old Chloe Jones against her will and torturing her for 4 days. Let's go into that hearing where Mozingo pleaded guilty just moments ago.
Past 2 weeks going over things. I've had several discussions with Jamila. We had an opportunity to meet with the court last week. We are prepared for trial, as is, I'm sure, the state of Ohio. However, my client has decided to enter a plea of guilty. Part of that reason is he does not wish to have the victim go through testifying in this situation. I would ask the court to inquire of him.
All righty. Mr. Mozingo, you've heard the statements of your attorney.
Yes, ma'am.
It's my understanding you intend to enter a plea of guilty today. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the charges you'd be pleading guilty to, 2 counts of kidnapping. Those are both felonies of the first degree. They carry a potential penalty of 11 to 16 and a half years in prison under the Reagan-Tokes Act. That would be the indefinite sentencing portion. The minimum is 3, the max is 11, plus the tag on. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And the felony 2 felonious assault is 2 to 8 years, so the maximum would be 8 to 12 on each of those counts. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then there are 5 counts of the felonious assault. The abduction and the strangulation are both felonies of the 3rd degree. They carry 9 to 36 months in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The felony 2s are up to a $15,000 fine. Felony 1's up to a $20,000 fine. Do you understand all that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, you know there's no agreement as to sentencing, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And let's make sure that the mic is also picking him up. There's a second mic there that he can use, or however you guys want to proceed with that. All right. Okay. There's no agreement as to what the sentence is going to be, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You've had enough time to discuss this with your attorney?
Plenty.
And are you satisfied with his advice and handling of your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So when we look at the charges, this is a violent offender charge, so you would be required to register under the violent offender registry. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So there's multiple offenses that would fall under the Reagan-Tokes. So what the court does is the court picks the highest level offense with the most amount of time, and that's where the tail comes from. So whichever of the offenses that I choose the longest time, that is where we add on the tail to the chart, to the sentence. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So with the Reagan-Tokes Act, there's 2 different ways that you've got. One, it's possible to earn good time credit of 5 to 15% against your sentence. If the ODRC decided to recommend that to me, then it would come to the court for agreement or non-agreement. If the court did not agree, I would notify the state and the victim, and we would have a hearing. And at that hearing, I would make a determination whether or not to grant that good time credit. So at that hearing, there's a presumption that you will be granted that early release unless the evidence overcomes that presumption, and these are the things that I would have to find in order to deny you the good time credit. We'd have to find that you violated rules that compromise the prison security or safety of staff or inmates, caused physical harm to staff or inmates, or violated the law while you were in prison, and that those infractions indicated that you had not been rehabilitated. That'd be one prong I could find. I could also find your behavior while incarcerated demonstrated posed a continued threat to society, or if you were still classified security level 3 or higher, or if you did not productively participate in a majority of rehabilitative programs that were recommended by ODRC, or did not complete successfully a reasonable number of programs that which you started. And then finally, if upon release,
This morning is just full of surprises, isn't it? Another surprise here, this one coming out of the Akron, Ohio area with this guy pleading guilty to the charges. He's going to be sentenced at 11:30 this morning for his crimes and have to register as a violent offender.